and welcome to episode 276 of our SAP on Azure video podcast. Today's January 28th, and together with Goran, we are here to talk about anything related to SAP and Microsoft. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So one of the highlights of the SAP TechEd last year was the announcements of two foundational new models, among them the RPT-1 or Rapid-1. For me, this was quite interesting because SAP not only announced the models, but immediately made it available for testing on BTP AI Hub, on HuggingFace. So our amazing colleague Amit Lal immediately jumped on it and explored the functionality. So today we are really happy to have him with us again to talk about his experience with RPT-1. Welcome, Amit. It's really great to have you back on our show. Before we dive into the content, and you had showed already a few things with me up front. Before we go there, let's quickly you start with a short introduction from you. So what do you do at Microsoft?
Sure. Yeah. Again, thanks, Holger. Thanks, Goran. This is my third time, I guess, on your podcast. It's a fantastic podcast. You know, a lot of audience, and especially my followers on everywhere, like LinkedIn. They are always excited to see this. Every week something coming up. So happy to be here. So yeah, let me start with my introduction. So this is again, for who don't know me, and I'm Amit Lal, strategic technical lead in Microsoft. As a part of Microsoft strategic partnership team. In practice, I'm often called as a deal CTO, where I work with the large customers moving mission critical SAP workload to Azure and building like a C plans, consumption plans, production grade architectures, and making sure the migration story is going flawlessly. So that's what I do as a day job, and I do run during my off office hours. I have my AI kitchen where I keep building some fun stuff specifically on AI plus SAP. So that's kind of a demo for my customers, partners. They want to explore. It's kind of a for them. It's to evaluate where exactly SAP as a enterprise platform can help onboard AI capabilities together. So I'm kind of bridging that gap. So that's something I'm doing.
And just to promote this a little more, actually, Amit, I think in a lot of cases we see these very basic interactions. You have AI, you connect to show me the sales order. Okay, this is nice, but some of the demos that you have developed are really, really cool with multi-agent orchestrations, with deep research functionalities, with really evaluating, and it's really, really cool. You often really show the art of the possible to the customer. So it's quite amazing what you're doing in this area, I would say.
Thank you. And I don't know if you saw there was some fascinating thing going on last week at Davos. Our leader Mustafa Suleiman, CEO for Microsoft AI, he made big bold statement. And within 5 years, we are getting to see every single person will have their own personal AI companion. So that is kind of giving me kind of a goosebump. Okay, this is something what Microsoft AI CEO is thinking. What is coming in next 5 years, and it's kind of seeing the leadership alignment and what they're actually looking, and we start exploring whether it's possible it's soon, or AGI is coming next day, like kind of exploring, and it's kind of fun watching them. So that's something give me some ideas and context how we should develop that prototype. And just for your awareness and then for of course your audience, I started building one agent who can join the bridge like us. It will be like a fourth agent who will be a voice agent, will be joining as a full-fledged Amit Lal assistant, and will be talking to you as like a human.
Okay,
So
wow.
That is what ongoing in my lab right now, and it's super complicated because you have to convert voice to text and text to voice, and it has to be accurate and responding the scenario, and have to be guardrail, should not go off topic. So those things are coming. So again,
but you gave an announcement, Amit, so people will has some expectation from you, right?
Yeah.
But
So
you are the real Amit. You're not your avatar. We're
You are the
really
real
talking
one.
with you
I'm
right
the
now.
real one. Yeah. Maybe in coming years, you might see, my avatar, talking, and I'm doing my customer call, and you're talking to my avatar. That is possible. And All right. So I think,
Okay.
yeah, I can start sharing my screen, and we can jump into the topic of the day.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Let me start sharing my screen. Before we go, any other uh, uh, thing you want to share, or let me start sharing my screen.
Mhm. Yeah, that would be great. Because I think what was really interesting, I talked about SAP announced RPT-1, Rapid 1, and I think literally the day after the announcement, I saw in our internal chat that you already tested with it and that you already explored, and I
Yeah.
mean this was literally day one, and you had already gotten started with this. So it's great to see it now.
Yeah, so this one gave me like a idea. Okay, this is what SAP is cooking in their AI kitchen. So why not we can take some
Mhm.
ingredient and replicate the same meal at our place. So that's what I did during TechEd, and of course a lot of information flowing from SAP to us, and of course to all the partners and customers. So they are building up this ecosystem that is what called as a foundational model. So let me quickly set some context before I go in.
Mhm.
So this is more of a the first foundation model built especially on the tables, and it's called RPT-1. It's adapted by not adapted by actually any large language model. It's kind of the first foundation model from SAP. So that is something gave me some insight. Okay, SAP is doing some phenomenal job of building for their customers, partners. We can leverage this model out of box, of course, with API and other mechanism. And there are multiple flavors of using that. So I'm going to show you in the demo. So this particular model is foundational model, and only works on the table, not on the text. So
Mhm.
these are some there are some guardrails. I'm going to talk about that. So, so before I begin, just a quick disclaimer, for everyone watching or listening this podcast, this is my technical exploration and not like official SAP guidance or
Yeah.
any roadmap. So every demo which I have built or preparing right now, putting in my GitHub, is leverage using SAP RPT open source model only. I'm not using
Mhm.
any closed source which is SAP is offering to all the customers and partners. All pure work, 100% on open source. And yes, this is not going to be a cooking show. So it's no ingredient hidden under the counter or anything, coming on screen to, note down. Everything is transparent, and I'm going to put all my demos, already placed all my demos into GitHub repository, and partners and customers can easily replicate with just button click. Okay, end of disclaimer. All right, so let's jump into some technical definitions. So this is more of a context and state setting. RPT stands for relational pre-trained transformer. That's a definition, and it thinks like it's a GPT for table, not for text. So that's a huge comparison, and this is purely a native SAP foundation model structured on SAP tables, and purely business driven tables, which are like Mara and all sales tables, everything are able to talk to this particular model. And everyone knows SAP runs on the tabular data, right? It's not any text
Yeah.
or images. So that's number one thing we have to keep in the mind. Well, picking up any LLM for running any prediction or classification. So going back to my ML learning days, there was different approaches, how you can learn supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning. So those are the things you have to get some idea where exactly SAP is coming from. So that's kind of a long road, but I'm going to keep it short. This is more of a comparing to the classical ML. It required less custom training. It required less table smart kind of a thing. So it only focus on the tabular data. That's a big thing about this particular model.
As you said, I mean, SAP is actually um, the logical choice because SAP, all the data is in tables, basically. I mean, if you look at the Microsoft world, we have a lot of emails, we have a lot of Word documents, we have a lot of unstructured texts, but in the SAP world, it's all table, 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 table. So it makes
Exactly.
sense that SAP built their own model specifically focusing on tabular data.
Yes. And totally, because the results which, after seeing the comparison, which I'm going to show you how actually it looks like, especially when you run a query on any LLM, open source LLM versus RPT-1, the results are phenomenal. So it's more of a more accurate, more predictable, and consuming less resources, because if I run any LLM, it consumes huge tokens, right? That's number one pain.
Mhm.
And number two, it run on the fly. You don't have to train anything. It goes into the memory and just chunk out the data and forget about everything.
Yeah.
So that's how the RPT-1 works. So
Mhm.
let's keep moving. Okay. So this is more, the problem statement, as from SAP perspective, after going, in this rabbit hole, for during my Thanksgiving and during the TechEd period, what exactly, need SAP to think about getting the new model versus getting any LLM fine-tuned and offer to all the customers and the partners. So this is the idea, and the short answer is, traditional ML required, custom model for every prediction task. Example, churn, you need new model. Detecting the fraud, you need another model. To get the demand, you need another model. So like every the ML exercise, you need a dedicated model to get information out of SAP data, which is kind of absurd, because you have to put so much effort on your data science team and building ecosystem to get each scenario working flawlessly, and it takes that times. So that's a number one reason SAP might have sensed, okay, this is something our customers are seeing, so let's build something, the model which is more of a open source and more of a talking to the tables instead of images and other stuff. And of course LLM, they are brilliant. They are brilliant in writing the languages, detecting the words. Everything is flawless, but they are not so good at numbers sometimes. If you say 1,000 as a it take as a 1,000 number as a separate characters, not as a one value. But in RPD-1, it takes as a one value. So that's a huge difference. And that's a reason SAP is picking up this new foundation model, and it built on the context model, which is kind of a wrapper around that. This is what I was talking about, just to elaborate more, what I have said previously. When LLM sees the number 1,000, it tokenize and as a four separate numbers, 1,000, and then it try to do the maths on the text, which is kind of sometimes become hallucinating calculation. And we have seen that, because some of the customers complaining, hey, during some exercise, why I'm getting the bad results, especially
Yeah.
on LLM. So RPT one, it's exactly seeing 1,000 as a single relation value. That something make the model to understand, and my context is easily ingesting into the calculation. So that's kind of set apart this RPT-1 from other language models. Does it make sense what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
it does make sense, although I'm just thinking loud that typically you might have also, you do have a dedicated LLMs for different purposes, and depend on the scenario, there might be also need for different agents which would use maybe different LLMs in order to get the best results. Yeah. So
Correct. So, though we have smart large language model GPT 5.0, which is kind of
correct. Yeah.
super fine-tuned and super efficient, but still in some cases very rare. I would say the text capturing versus image capturing is slightly different. So that's where RPT-1 is playing important role, especially for enterprise customers.
Mhm.
All right. So this is kind of more of a breakthrough in context learning. This is what RPT-1 stands for, and that's my favorite part. Especially think of like an open book exam. RPT-1 doesn't memorize your data. It just read the data during the inference time. Making the prediction and then forget everything. And then it throws the the weights, and then no training required on top of it. That's kind of set apart from any other LLMs. That's the only thing which gave me why we should be using that, because I don't have to train any LLM. I don't have
Hmm.
to fine tune. It's just a matter of context. You feed the context, and the results are upfront, and more of a less burden on my data science team. If I'm running any organization, right? So I have my data science team can focus on more important stuff instead of doing the day operational job of building the any LLM, fine tuning the LLM, which is kind of expensive. So why not to use this RPT-1 engine? So that's kind of an experimental thing which I have done. Only caveats which I'm going to talk about, that which SAP of course has to tackle, not us. So yeah, before jump into the demo part, we have different families SAP is offering. I call it the smaller version, which is like a speedster. Millisecond latency. You can use for blocking some fraudulent transaction in real time. Large, of course, is it trained on the biggest SAP data sets, which are more complex for the forecasting. Doing the prediction, how you can speed up the calculation, more for the bigger organization, which I usually work with them. OSS, my favorite, again, because it's open source, available in Hugging Face, and you can do any kind of experimental research, build your proof of concept, and make sure your data science team is agreeing on the data which they are seeing, more for research purpose, I would say. And I picked up this RPT-1 OSS for this entire demo system. All right. So, like I said, this is more of a real time, particular use cases. What use case we should be looking for, what particular model. So, in case you want, fraud blocking or any kind of exposure to your data, PD1 small is playing, phenomenal job. So, I'm testing right now, and supply chain forecasting is super complex, which we have done for large customers. Where I recall, it took months to fine tune that ML model to get that supply chain forecast. Super complex job. And local development POC, that's my favorite, which is I'm using already. I know I'm kind of going a little deep into this rabbit hole, but yeah, let me jump into the demo in a moment. So this is more of a the numbers which I got it from open platform which SAP is talking about. The biggest part between traditional ML versus RPT pipeline, it takes hours to get the the results instead of traditional ML pipeline. So that's a difference, and the training time is zero. Efficiency is too good, fewer flops, and token consumption is highly small, and there is no in case of RPT-1. So that's kind of idea which I captured during my experiments. So let's jump into the demo. So, I'll show you. I have cooked up in my AI kitchen like four different use cases. All use cases are different from each of one, and each of them, give you some idea, and to my customers and partners if they want to play with that. Everything is open source, like I said, and it's available right now. So first thing, what these demo does is, you upload your data,
Hmm.
just offline data on this app, which is provided by SAP as well as by my app, and you just put the label on that, and then put tell me whether the text code for future what number will be there. So it will, in a matter of seconds, it will tell you the prediction. To
Hmm.
do that, in ML, in any machine learning model scenario, it takes lot of data churn to get the results out. But this RPD-1 does it on the fly. And before I go into the demo, this is more of a educational, where exactly we can deploy today. So the finance, supply chain, sales
Yeah.
are be eligible. You can go and start deploying this one. And there are some more slides here. And of course, this is more of an advertisement for RPT-1. And this is for nerds actually, who wants to get the granular level of
Great.
yeah, what
Nice.
exactly general LLM versus RPT ones. More of a educational, and since I worked during the weekends to collect that data and put it into the PPT, so that our audience gets some sense. They don't have to reinvent the wheel from scratch. So this is kind of a starter pack for them to learn this technology. And the next steps, I have captured all these links, especially the SAP links. SAP is providing one small beautiful app called rpt.cloud.sap. That URL is up and running, and they are offering to test and play around with that. On the coding side, if you are using Hugging Face, they have open source model which you can download, and you can start playing. And there are a lot of technical papers, archives available to read. So that said, I let me start and the demo part here.
Mhm.
Any questions before I jump on the demo?
No, all good.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so okay, this is my playground.
Mhm.
You still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So let's, go and because this is more of a SAP first party, so I want to ensure that, if SAP members are watching this, they should be, get some feel good factor that, yeah, we are, promoting this particular platform. So this is the first, playground which I played around, and on the fly, I loaded some of the data, and this data has some restrictions. So what did SAP is offering? They are offering all the partners and customers to to see how RPT works flawlessly on the data set. So I'm going to upload simple synthetic data. I have
Mhm.
financial statements, GL and sales. So let's go with sales here. I uploaded, and data, and the row items should not be more than 2000. That's what in the SAP criteria says.
So
So
it's
I
a
uploaded.
playground. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of a limitation which on the playground, but that's fine. So I'll click on the prediction here. So okay, so there are some issues happening. Okay, so I'll put prediction here, and then I put prediction on just an example unit price, and I put total amount on this one. I press Control K, and that's what it says. And
Mhm.
now I do the prediction. I don't know what exactly the results would be, but yeah, let's try.
So now the RPT model looks basically at the overall context of
Yes.
the other columns, the other fields, and it tries to predict the values that you just more or less erased.
Correct. So the results are here. This is what the prediction, the model is giving the information, and it says, you can get unlimited APIs, more of a, if you want commercial license, you can play around. That's kind of a message from
Yeah,
SAP.
yeah.
So it's more giving some numbers, which I don't know it's accurate or not, but yeah, something is coming out of that prediction. So let me try this on simple thing. Okay, I'll go with quantity. So for
Mhm.
this particular order, I let's see if this quantity for that particular customer is it making sense or no. So let's do the
Mhm.
prediction for the future. It was 9 number, and see what it comes with.
Mhm. So it
Okay,
actually,
yeah,
yeah.
10.
Mhm.
Yeah, gross.
it's working. Yeah, so it's kind of the it's predicting that this customer might ask for the quantity 10. So that's
Mhm.
kind of a small test case. So on top of it, this is more of a educational thing. What I have done, I have created 4 different apps. Let me okay, which are available in my GitHub repo. It's all public domain, and exactly the number one is financial dashboard, which I'm going to show you how it actually works. Like everything is up and running on Hugging Face. You just have to clone it if you want to run on your own space. It's super easy. And then second one is the forecast showdown. What exactly forecast does is it actually gives you the comparison, because in this scenario SAP is not talking about comparison. it's giving you the prediction and giving you some idea. Okay, this is the numbers. So we are going a little deeper into this rabbit hole. I want to see whether it is actually behaving better than any LLM or worse than. So that's kind of
Hmm.
a playground, actual playground, because that's what the playground definition is. I want to see and make two LLM fighting with each other. That's what I think. And then the third one is predictive integrity. That is something from the basis standpoint. I'm coming from basis world. I work with them for many years, right? So I want to see my SAP bad jobs or transports or any interface going to fail in the future, right? So let's say month end is coming. I want to see whether my particular job will get fail or not. So that's a prediction, right? So
Hmm.
whether this RPT-1 is fulfilling that prediction, giving the my entire job database table and feeding into RPT-1 and see what jobs might fail or what transport might fail. So it's kind of a futuristic thing. It's future glass where you can see and tell what exactly interface or transport or job will fail. So it's fun watching. And the third one is, yeah, I created the, I don't know, Holger, you remember we spoke about can we get this RPT public open source into our Azure Foundry, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's something I was working closely with Microsoft Foundry team, product team, and they came back saying that this is not like a tab. This is not like a standard LLM, which is that's a prerequisite for having Foundry model inserted into our repository. So this stands as a tabular model which required to pass through ONNX format, which is kind of a you have to convert that model into PyTorch. I'm going a little, deeper into that. So that PyTorch conversion required a lot of effort. You have to burn a lot of tokens. You have to, convert that, which is kind of a big project for them. So
Hmm.
what I have done, I have created this just for my learning purpose on my own subscription to see whether I can do that or not. So
Hmm.
that's kind
Hmm.
of so what I have done, I downloaded this SAP RPT 1 OSS open source model and placed into my subscription here. You can see. Let me increase the size of this model. So this is like a fourth app, which I'm going to show you how it actually looks like. And you can see on the screen, right? So this is more of a RPT-1 I'm using as a custom model
Hmm.
as a playground. You can use that, if I share the endpoints or web service,
Yeah.
you can start leveraging this for your exercises, whatever you want to without going to the Hugging Face. So in some customer cases, they don't want to touch Hugging Face, but they
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
keep isolated from external world. So that model will help them. So it's more of a message to all the audience. They can bring this into Microsoft Foundry and start doing the customization, fine tuning, all other stuff. They can do this on this particular model. Okay, switching the gears. So let me. This is my first app, which I was talking about, the finance playground. This is more of a dashboard to attract a lot of audience. So
Yeah.
so here the real data, I have already uploaded, which I have shown you the synthetic data, right? And
Hmm.
I have small bad news because OData used to work earlier. Now ES5 is dead system. I
Yeah.
don't have the system test connect to bring that data in a real time, which I used to in the month of December. I was able to see the data real time and do this prediction on the fly. But now the system is no more, and so it's kind of you can see that the
Yeah.
system is not
Okay.
available.
Yeah.
So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the financial. So I have like, captured different data sets. So I go with the sales order, one of my favorite all time. So you can see the same similar data, but we were seeing on the SAP. Now I'm going to, run this AI prediction on this particular model. I'm going to initiate this model. So we have two model types, classification and regression. So the classification is like, it's a label, fraud, no fraud, yes or no kind of a classification. And the regression is only works on the numeric thing. So in this case, I'm going to pick the classification, and I already initiated the classification. Of course, you can add more horsepower, bringing more GPU, which is
Hmm.
part of Hugging Face if you have account. But it comes with, you have to take a, subscription to do that. Then I'm going to do this on the sales order here. I'm going to train the data on the fly. So the 500 sample with the 3 features I already activated. Now let's do the sales order. Now the scenario, which scenario I'm looking for, I want to see the product priority classification or high value orders or customer segment classification. So these are the like ML terms where you can do the prediction. So I'm going to run order priority. That's my favorite. So in this case, you can see it ran through 500 records and able to give me some input on the bottom. You can see the prediction is coming for that particular order. This is kind of urgent. This is normal priority. So it's kind of giving the label on the fly. You see, to get that, the prediction on any machine learning, it take time because you have to upload the data and wait for the churn and then the consumption of tokens, and then the data come back and you have to run this script thing. So in RPT-1, everything is going in memory, and right away it's coming and giving some sense of an idea what exactly we are talking about. Okay, now okay, this is number one, and of course you can play around with any kind of source. You can upload your data, similar to what SAP is offering. I'm kind of replicating this similar platform, but this is all open source.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
number yeah, and number two,
Nice.
yeah, this is the second one. That's one of my favorite because this is more of a challenging ground, more in the ring. All the models are together fighting with each other, more of a WWE kind of a fun thing. So and you see on the left side, these are the all the models which I experimented, and I'm using test sample data. Of course, you can increase the size, the sample, and the random seed is something you can change the data. So it's I keep changing that so that the sample data is not same when I am running the comparison again and again. So what I have done, I have created three separate like different scenarios. One is forecast, and other is a credit risk, other is customer churn. Customer churn is something example any SaaS application, or you take Netflix, right? You want to see Netflix want customer is staying or they are going away, how many support tickets they have created, and like what exactly the status of my customer. Are they going to stay long with me, or they are in a complaining mode? So that's kind of a prediction we are running on this. So you can see the customer loyal, stable, churning, at risk. So this is kind of a sample data which my data science team is giving me. So I want to see whether RPT-1 is giving me better insight compared to my existing LLM model, which machine learning is already in deployment, and data science team is already doing experimentation. So to do that, I have that data. Now I want to select the LLM here. So Grok Llama, I think I have to fix my API. So let's go with the Missile Small. That's another one of my favorite. It's a small model, and okay, let's click the churn here.
Hmm.
So you can see Mistral ran for almost how many 800 millisecond, and now and the RPT-1 ran for 3000 something, and the results are here on the bottom. The accuracy on the RPT-1 OSS is almost 71%. Mistral one is not able to even find the records, so it not able to
Interesting.
detect. Yeah, and you can see here on the bottom, my RPT-1 is giving me the labeling on what is actually my machine learning team is giving, whether it's matching or RPT-1 is giving some different statement here.
Hmm.
So in this case, my machine learning team is saying it's loyal customer, but in this case, RPT-1 is saying it's stable. So yeah, it's kind of not stable. It's not going to be stable for a while, and then LLM is kind of not able to even detect. So that's how it's kind of we can run the comparison and show this to my data science team. This is
Yeah.
what RPT one OSS is coming up. So can we adopt this, or can we add this into our ecosystem to get this some sense whether RPT-1 is making the real decisions, or we should stick to any LLM? So that's
Hmm.
how I'm building this playground. And of course,
And this is, I would say, Amit, quite important because, okay, you are predicting, you don't know. But at certain point of time, you need to double check, did it really correctly predicted, and how much is the percentage of correctness, right?
Correct.
And have, in order to that you could say, yeah, okay, it really kind of works pretty well with a high confidence that you could then deploy it maybe as a productive in a productive environment, right?
Exactly. And that gives some confidence to my data science team. Okay,
Yeah.
the RPT-1 is playing well. So it's kind of more of educational for them and for our all SAP customers, if they really want to gauge and test on the fly. This is kind of a real playground. And then you can see here this beautiful app, giving some kind of uh, winning cup that this is more of a 71% accurate. It's fun watching, and I can change to open router and Claude. Claude is one of my favorite again. I run this similar exercise, but let me change the data set here. So it changed now. I run the churn here one more time. So the Claude Haiku is 3.5 is one of the well known in the industry. So let's see if Claude able to find something. And I'm actually experimenting with all open source model. Of course, you can go with closed source. That is something, but it churn a lot of tokens. I don't want to go into that route. With data science team, they can do that. There is open source. You can just tweak the models, add more platter into the model book. So you can see here exactly same. This model is more giving some ideation. One thing, Grok LLM, which is again my favorite. It broke, I think, last night. Uh,
Yeah, that happens.
yeah. So it's API all of a sudden stopped working, right? So you have to fix all the code and stuff. So now coming to the third one, which is another, my favorite is, especially for my basis and technology people who are actually wants to see the predictions, right? Something, what I have done, I have created, the public OSS as well as the closed API. So for, leveraging this closed API, what you have to do, select this and then go back to, SAP Playground and go back here and copy this on the bottom. You can see on SAP site, copy this and take this to your to this particular token. Copy this here and then you can test that. But I'm not going to test that close. I'm going to first show you the one which is open source. So I have 1000 job failure records. I am going to trigger this. So these are the bad jobs in production system, all the job classes, and we all three of are familiar with what exactly it looks like. There are some labels already given by my data science team. This is the risk. This job might fail, might not fail, low, medium kind of a risk. So I'm going to run this similar data set to get this prediction. So let's run that. So you can see out of 1,000 jobs, 250 are on high risk. So these are the jobs which might, fail in coming days. So here's the insight report, the top five, which this RPT-1 is capturing. So that's a beauty of this model. It can give you on the fly. You don't have to wait for your machine learning team or data science team to get that data and then wait and come back. They come back with some kind of a information. This is on the fly. Any basis or a mapper can go and just run this and then see this job might fail because of some certain reason. They have to dig into that reason, and there are some more use cases like transport failure, interface failure, all just for experimentation, whether my interface will fail in the future or not, which is already defined by my ML team. And that's kind of giving me some context. Okay, this is what futuristic thing looks like. Does it make sense what I'm talking about?
It does. I'm just wondering where those data are. They are real data and
No,
no,
synthetic
they're
data.
okay.
This is all
Okay, so
synthetic.
you can't really, check it at this point of time
Yeah.
about are the prediction really correct or not.
Yes. So this is more of a platform setting. You can
As
bring
a
the real data. Yeah.
technical
Once you
ability.
have
Okay.
core data,
Sure.
It's pretty easy. You can get OData connected and offload that interface tables and offload your batch table into this, and then you see the real-time data.
But actually, that would be a good invitation for customers and partners to try it and then really measure it. Do they really have a good predictions, so to
Correct.
say.
And this is open source, they can
Correct,
tweak,
yeah.
and everything is kind of easy for them to get that. Maybe they already have better solution, so why not to test SAP RPT-1 and see if they're already running that, the best scenario, or this is the best. So it's kind of giving them some, food for thought. Are we heading in the right direction? Because you have to spend money to get at that level. Spending ML team and getting the model. So why not to experiment this?
True.
This is my fourth one, and this is one of my the second favorite, because it is running on my own API, not on SAP API. This is what I have loaded into my machine learning. This is what I have shown you, right?
On Azure, yeah.
So this is more of a talking to my custom ML, which is RPT-1 OSS, loading on Cloud Foundry. So you can see here I deployed on my Azure AML, and I want to test this similar scenario. Now, I'm not going like talking about anything outside the ideation. Let's do the revenue prediction. So we can do the order parameters, set parameters here, and then see whether the revenue prediction is right or not. So the idea is to give my partners and customers that you can leverage not just open source, you can leverage Cloud Foundry as well, and bring that knowledge into any app or UI. So like it's a 5-layer cake, right? So it's you have app, model, and then infra, and in the bottom you have electricity, energy, right? So the app layer is something sitting on the top. You have to tackle that. So this is where I started building a good app, so that my audience and our audience can get some sense where exactly we should be putting the information and leveraging this LLM power into this ecosystem. Okay, so yeah, I captured, I think, all four of them. And the good thing is everything is open source. You just have to clone, fork this, and then it's if you want to go with Hugging Face, you can go with Hugging Face, or you want to deploy on Azure platform. I have created simple bicep. You can just copy this, leveraging this. And the second one, and my favorite, which is kind of a Claude. Now I'm pretty sure everyone is hearing MCP, right? So MCP is something is a trending thing, and now Claude is coming with the technology called skills. So the skills are something on top of MCP. You train that particular information, and get that information and put it into the skill, hard code that into the skill. So that skill you can attach to any platform, any repository. That will be easy for getting that info, the package into any application. So I have created this just for sake of my learning, and of course it is built on top of Claude, who actually created the MCP, the originator of that platform. So this is more in case some of the indie developers or high-end developers, they want to play with the skills. They are welcome to get this. They don't have to go and download the model or create from scratch. Just bring the skill. Your RPT-1 OSS will be enabled right away in the Claude session or Copilot session, wherever you want to play. So that's kind of a scenario I'm actually building. This is all my weekend stuff and weekend thing. And other than that, there are a lot of other things going on in my AI kitchen. Just an example here. I know I'm switching gears here. Before I go, any questions or any interesting insights you want to share, Guran, Holger?
No, I think this is really great, and it's really very tangible. And as you said, I mean, and we'll put all the links to the GitHub repo in the show notes.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get started with this. You have everything. I can just deploy this in my own subscription in my own environment, and then I can give it a try. So this is really powerful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say
yeah.
customers and partners, we would love to invite them to try it and give us also the feedback, how it really works in a real environment,
Exactly.
that would be the best learning. Yeah.
Yep, feedback is super important,
Yeah.
especially for us and for SAP as well. And that feedback is coming from ground, and I'm satisfied the way RPT-1 is behaving. We might see a lot of adaptation happening in this particular model. So down the road, we'll see more. Customers are picking up this. Okay, before we wrap, I want to show you something. This is we have built just for our some internal purposes. We spend a lot of uh, hours in the workshop, building some kind of a diagrams and VZOs during the whiteboard session with customers, right? So this is more of a agentic scenario where agent is doing all my heavy lifting instead of I'm doing the whiteboarding. So I have created this as a prompt, where you can get any architecture diagram just out of box without picking up any pen or anything. So while you are in a room with customer or partner, it is kind of a saving at least 1 hour of effort to start building this kind of thing. So just an example here. Let's take code review pipeline, right? So it's kind of a Microsoft Agentic framework which I want to create for my customer. I'm not picking up any diagram or label to draw this. My agent will do this just
Okay.
uh, out of box. So this is kind of fun watching because uh, at least for me, it took 2 hours to create this similar in the past. Now with this kind of tool set, where actually I'm getting real agentic benefit. So far we are talking about prototypes and other things, but here actually I'm seeing the real productive thing where actually I'm saving at least 2 to 3 hours during my workshop, and
Hmm.
customer
Hmm.
partners, they get excited, they want to play with this tool and they want to cook up something better diagrams, better things with this kind of tools. This is right now closed source because it consumes a huge amount of tokens. So,
Yeah.
and it's but yeah, prototype is available, in case our partners or customer want to replicate this. I'm happy to share this. Of course, they can reach out to you, Holger, and Goran, to get this. So this is cooking something in my kitchen. You can see on the fly, and these are my hands. I'm not doing
Oh,
anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
no, it's
so
not.
and you see this is all animated, so it's keep going and drawing, and the best part is I can modify anything. That's
And it's a great starting point, right? I mean,
Yes.
exactly.
you can kick off a workshop or whatever, and you have you don't have a white sheet in front of you, but you have already something. And then, as you just
Exactly.
showed, you can move it still around, you can enhance it, you can modify it.
Yes.
This is really cool.
Yeah, so it's helping me while in front of all my customers, CIO in room. They
Yeah.
want to see can we bring that service, this that service. They can easily just write, and that service will be available out of box. And of course, we have all the labels. You can put everything just so it's more of a time saver. And this
Yeah.
is like coming from fresh from my kitchen. And the second one, again, one of my favorite. I know we have few minutes left, so this is kind of a every time I go to any customer discussion, there is a discussion which region is favorite, right? Whether I should bring my SAP Rise workload into that region. Of course, SAP is guiding them, but on top of it, we are creating the latency advisor, where
Mhm.
actually this latency advisor will help them to understand my the workload is actually running in that particular region, and it compares all three. So we are not just talking about Azure. It goes and check for AWS, GCP, and other. And if you are heading towards Rise, it's something gauge all the hyperscalers, and the sources are all open source. I'm using here. It goes and check for live APIs where my all the data centers and everything is up and running. So it's just more of a educational for my customer to give some confidence. Yes, we are the best hyperscaler, and we know the latency we have done 100 times, and you can check latency on the fly. You don't have to rely
Mhm.
on the static data. You can test this in front of and then see my Fury Launchpad, my GUI, my BTP. All applications are getting some kind of a numbering. So it's
This
more
is really
giving them
cool. Yeah.
some confidence. And of course, you can run with AWS. It doesn't matter. We are all in a one ecosystem for a RISE platform. So in case customer want AWS GCP, they can compare and take a screenshot and then go back to SAP. Hey, this is what we are looking. Are you okay with that? And we can do live testing and we can do the recorded testing. So there are hundreds of things you can do this. And then this is built on top of the vibe coding, which
Nice.
Nice.
so yeah, it's more of a on-the-job learning, and that the problem statement was from my customer was, Amit, we are not able to see what regions are there, and it's hard to compare. So let's do that. So now after building this, they are super confident. They are signing up with with Azure and seeing that this is the latency, this is my throughput, and all these things. So results are phenomenal, and of course they can test with VPN and express route. So this is my one of the out of box
Super.
thing from my kitchen.
Excellent.
And it
Yeah.
looks amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's I fall in love with this particular the globe, the way it actually, this is my location, and by the way it's triggering the nearest regions from me if I want to post anything from my house. So this is where it's fun
All good.
watching. Yeah,
Nice.
that's all from my kitchen, and this is all I have today for this session.
I mean, this was an amazing cooking experience. So a lot of great insights from your kitchen, and I mean, it's great to see all the focus that you put on RPT-1, but then also here related stuff that you've developed using different models, AI, vibe coding. So really great to see that.
Thank you. Yeah,
Great.
things are moving so fast.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
No, I think
definitely invited all the customers and partners to try it and give the feedback,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you already have a huge follower base on LinkedIn, but still, if you have not yet followed Amit on LinkedIn, make sure to connect. Amit, thank you so much for all the insights. It was really great to see all the things that you have cooking in your show, in your kitchen. And I hope to see you again soon with some new amazing AI functionalities. Thank you so much, Amit.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.